Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
Ripple vs. SEC lawsuit is coming to an end, sources reveal. And so look, and this comes from Crypto News Flash. I like Crypto News Flash, but I read this headline and I rolled my eyes and I was like, okay, another claim of a super duper top secret source that's going to say stuff and there's going to be no way to know if it's true. And then most of the claims, when they're made like this and it's based on a secret source, it all falls apart. I figured it's going to be another one of these things. Maybe somebody just wants attention again. I don't know. But that ended up not being the case. No, that was not the case in this. The truth is that what this article actually covers is hilarious. It is not what I expected, and it will result in lulls. But before going further, I want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I'm not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So in we go. This is the thread from attorney John DEATON on Twitter, and he wrote the following. Why hasn't the judge thrown out the case? Between tweets, direct messages, and emails to my law firm, this question has been asked over 100 times. People ask, with all the evidence related to conflicts of interest and appearances of improprieties, why hasn't the judge dismissed the case? The judge isn't on Twitter following this. The judge relies only on evidence she is presented by the parties in the case. Except for a few inferences, Ripple has not offered evidence related to any possible corruption. Let me reread that. Ripple has not offered evidence related to any possible corruption. In fact, I'm the only one who has offered any evidence on the issue at all. The only reason I was able to submit any of this evidence is because the SEC attacked me personally, labeling me a clout-seeking Twitter conspiracy theorist. I offered objective facts supporting my criticism. Had they not attacked me, I wouldn't have offered any evidence at all. My ability to file anything related to conflicts required strategy. We can't conflate what's stated on Twitter or YouTube with what the judges actually review. For example, emails between Hinman and his law firm that Empower Us received via FOIA litigation are not part of the Ripple case. The judge hasn't been provided any of those emails. So let me pause just to make sure we're on the same page. I'm not going to read this. If you want to, actually, it's on your screen right here. But Empower Oversight is what he was referencing. This is a not-for-profit entity that was founded last year. And they are, Empower Oversight, they're actually suing the SEC because they've submitted FOIA requests, that's Freedom of Information Act requests, and the SEC's not playing ball. Not very much anyway. And so Empower Oversight's been pushing back, and finally, a bunch of the emails relating to Hinman have been provided. There's over 1,000 pages worth of emails that were incorrectly formatted, but that's a whole different thing. And they actually did get sent to Empower Oversight, and then Empower Oversight shared them with the public at large. And the XRP community has been combing through these. And so all these emails, though, these are not in front of the judge, unless she actually went out into the wild and found them on her own, which I don't know, maybe she would have happened to. I don't know. I don't know if she's seeking outside information or just letting whatever information comes to her be. That's it. She's got a busy schedule, I know, so probably didn't see them. But that's kind of the point that he was making. But anyway, that's what was being referenced by attorney John DEATON there. And then John writes, the point I'm trying to make is that people shouldn't expect the judges to throw out the case based on evidence that isn't being presented to the judge. I've seen criticism of the judges because they aren't doing something they haven't been asked to do. It just doesn't work that way. I realize people are frustrated. I am as well. If you want something done, then we have to get the congressional oversight committees to ask for an investigation. So go to crypto-law.us and use the Connect to Congress app. International holders use the International app. And I think he's spot on there. So there's Attorney Jeremy Hogan has shared his own perspective on this too, and it just comes to the bottom line is there's a process that the courts must go through, judges must abide by, And I don't suppose that this would all come to an end, even if the judge actually threw this out. Do you think that would be the end of it from the SEC? Do you think there wouldn't be another litigation? They wouldn't come back and they wouldn't claim to another court that something had horribly gone awry? You don't think? I do. I think all that would do is set us back, and maybe it would set us back another couple of years, perhaps. For all I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'd have to ask a lawyer to find out what that means. But it would certainly be the biggest delay that we've seen yet. Because they're probably what I mean by this. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another court case, another lawsuit filed. So I'm just saying, let's just let this play out. I want it to be over as much as anybody else, but we just have to wait and see where everything lands in the end, basically. And so now, regarding the email that I referenced at the outset of this video, which again, John Deaton, I made very clear that I wasn't to him. I wasn't going to share anything unless I got permission. I just asked him. I said, "Is it okay if I share part or all of this?" And he said, "It's fine. You can share anything that you want." And so this email actually dates back to May 3rd of last year, 2021. And the reason that he sent it to me, and also Chip and Jeff from On the Chain, the YouTube channel, is he cites at the end of the letter. So I guess I don't need to explain it now. It's at the tail end of the letter as to why he was sending this to me. But as far as what he did, he laid a trap and it worked. So here is the email from John Deaton to me on May 3rd in its entirety. Matt, I'm sending this email before we get to the SEC's opposition to our motion to intervene. So let me just pause right there to note. At this point, John Deaton, the judge had not approved John Deaton to intervene in the SEC versus Herbal case in any capacity to that point. Mind you, it's May 3rd as he's writing this of last year. And so anyway, John continues. I may be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if the SEC attacks me personally in its response to our motion. When they can't attack the message, they attack the messenger. I intentionally laid a trap for them in case they decide to go down this road. As of right now, the bad motive involving Clayton and Hinman as the reason the SEC filed the case is not relevant to our motion to intervene. I intentionally tried to goad them by tweeting out things like, the SEC is a cesspool of corruption, and other similar tweets, even though I'm trying to appear in the case, and many attorneys would be very conservative in what they say. So let me just pause to note here. All the stuff that we're aware of having to do with appearances of impropriety, potential corruption, having to do with Clayton and the fact that now he's benefiting by jumping into the world of crypto after exiting as SEC chairman. Then you got Billy Boy Hinman, who gave the Ethereum free pass speech while getting paid millions of dollars by a law firm he used to work for, and then going back to them after he left the SEC. And what he said in this Ethereum free pass speech benefited that law firm. All these types of things that were being uncovered at the time. It wasn't specifically, as John Deaton states in this email, it wasn't specifically relevant to the case, the matters at hand, even though obviously you and I think, of course, it's highly relevant. John Deaton would agree, obviously. That's why he wanted to get this in front of the court, but there was no reasonable way to do that outside of what he planned right here, at the time at least, anyway. And so again, that's why he said that he was trying to goad them by tweeting things like the SEC is a cesspool of corruption. Anyway, John continues. I predict that they may try and attack me and tell the judge she shouldn't let us intervene because I want to put the SEC on trial and use one or more of my tweets as an exhibit to show her that's my motive and therefore she shouldn't let us in the case. I hope that they go down this road and do exactly that, because if they do so, I can defend what I said on Twitter by showing her the proof of possible corruption, thereby getting that information and evidence in front of her. By the way, so look, that is what happened. Just to be clear, so he was writing this before the SEC did what they did. Oh yes, they did come after, they did make such claims. And then as a result, John Deaton was able to get that information directly in front of the judge. He laid the trap, and it freaking worked, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely freaking brilliant. Anyway, John continues. I'm not saying they will fall for this trap, but trap for sure, but I believe they might, considering they brought up me and my alleged motives before. Once they did that, I was like, these guys might not be able to resist, so let me see if they are dumb enough to fall for this. Oh, I love it. And yes, they were dumb enough to fall for this. I honestly believe that they know they shouldn't have filed the case the way they did, and they have a guilty conscience. When you have a guilty conscience, then you get super defensive and act like a victim. It's similar to how the SEC claims Ripple is harassing the SEC. It's projection. A lot of XRP holders have asked me, will the judge learn about the conflicts of interests or corruption at the SEC? The reality is that all the bad motive is irrelevant to our motion to intervene. We either meet the 4-factor test on intervention, or we don't. In the memorandum I filed, I mentioned Grunfest's warning and said something like, for improper motive, the case was filed, but it's irrelevant for the motion itself. And so pause. He's talking about Joseph Grunfest there, who I believe was a former SEC commissioner. John continues. But if the SEC attacks me by saying, look what he said about the SEC, I would be able to bring up the evidence showing bad motives to defend what I said. Hence, she would get to read and see the evidence. So here's what he did. He said things to goad the SEC, like the SEC is a cesspool of corruption. Then they came back, attacked John personally, which opened up the door for him to defend himself by presenting all of this information having to do with the improprieties and apparent corruption, or at least appearance of corruption, having to do with these high-level officials at the SEC. That's what he did, and it worked. And then John wraps up the email by stating, anyways, I wanted to send an email to you just in case it goes down like this, and people don't think I'm full of S-word when I say and say this when I just butchered that sentence. Let me try that again. I looked at something else, then I looked back and I lost my spot. Anyways, I wanted to send an email to you just in case it goes down like this and people don't think I'm full of S-word when I say this was my strategy and I saw it coming. Of course, maybe the attorneys at the SEC aren't this naive and predictable and won't fall for it. Talk soon, John D. And so there you go. And so that's the reason that he sent this email to me and Chip and Jeff from the On the Chain YouTube channel. It's just in case people were going to claim that, and it's true. Like if it came down to it, we could prove it based on timestamps. No, this was his plan from the beginning, and it was absolutely brilliant, and it did work. So I think it's awesome. Anyway, so I thought that everybody else would appreciate that as well. So that's what he was referencing in his thread there, and now you got the inside nitty-gritty. Now let's go to this last piece of the video. This seriously made me absolutely crack up. This comes from Crypto Newsflash, and again, nothing for Crypto Newsflash, but I'm sorry, son, ya got. Here's the headline. You see what I mean? Ripple vs. SEC lawsuit is coming to an end, sources reveal. So again, I said at the outset, when I saw that headline, I just kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, here we go. But it's like, I gotta read this. I gotta know. Maybe there is something to it. I find it unlikely, but I'm gonna reserve a little bit of judgment here and just read this damn thing and see what is said. And then I read it, and my eyes were like triple rolling by the time I finished it. But then after that, it got really funny, and I'll explain why. So anyway, the piece reads as follows. Finally, the lawsuit battle between Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission has come to an end, sources reveal. Following a 1-year-plus lawsuit, Ripple could experience a fresh breath of air without the eyes of the SEC bearing down on the company. Sources familiar with the matter revealed that the company and SEC have reportedly reached a settlement agreement. One of the sources added that an official announcement regarding the settlement would be made next week. So again, folks, I read that, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go, okay, I bet there's something to this. And it goes downhill from there. There's a little subheading, Ripple and SEC's legal war comes to an end. An anonymous user wrote on Twitter. It's like, oh, anonymous, this is good. So here's the quote in the piece. Anyone else heard the rumor? Settled. All staff on the SEC vs. Ripple case have been reassigned. A week until the news is public. And I was just thinking, okay, here we go. This is the typical crap that I see from people that are attention grabbing, this and that. Oh, look at me, I'm an insider, I've got special information. That's what people do, and I hate it. So I was already not convinced by this at all because there's no actual evidence, damn it. And it's not, if it were at least from somebody that's known to somehow some sort of connection somewhere, like stuff like that happens in life, okay, fine, then I'd be like, okay, maybe there's something to this, fine. There was no such indication of that in this piece. And so who did they link to? Because again, they wrote it's an anonymous user. Who did they link to? None other than XRP The Standard Productions. I love XRP The Standard Productions. Folks, this is a satire account. I love this. I've highlighted their work on this channel many times. Ever since, I can't remember when they started doing this, but from the beginning I've been highlighting the work because I think it's funny as hell. But it's basically like The Onion, but for the XRP community. So XRP, the Standard Productions, writes fake articles having to do with Ripple and XRP that are absolutely hilarious and hysterical. I'll share it with you a couple examples in a second, but that's where the rumor came from. So the rumor came from a satire account, which it provided no evidence because it's just a satire account. Then a real crypto media outlet, Crypto Newsflash, picked up the story and reported it as if it's actual news. And so then when that all came together, I could not help but laugh hysterically. It's so absurd. They know not what they have done. Well, I'll tell you what, that's what you get for writing a story about an anonymous source that offers no actual evidence. Just, you think somebody anonymous randomly on the internet writes something like this and you're just gonna like take it as gospel or something like that? Come on. It was grinding my gears until it wasn't. I'll just say that. Then I was laughing. So, well done, XRP, the Standard Productions. They didn't set out explicitly to troll Crypto Newsflash, but Crypto Newsflash did fall for what they wrote and took it as if it were real. So here's what XRP, the Standard Productions actually wrote. Anyone else heard the rumor? Settled. All staff on the SEC vs. Ripple case have been reassigned. A week until the news is public. SEC now hiring to prosecute illegal currencies. The beer in your hand is now champagne. Your VW is now a Lambo. The girlfriend that dumped you is calling #XRP. I gotta heart this. Not real. Hilarious, definitely hilarious, but not real. And here's another example. Like, look at this fake headline. This is so funny. You know, the United States just had the State of the Union speech from President Biden the other day, and here's a fake headline. With a graphic. If you can look at your screen, I guess it's worth it here. I'll make it full screen for you. Mysterious man holds buy XRP sign behind President Biden at State of the Union.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.